Hi, everyone. Pastor Chris here with Grace Bible Church in Marshall, and it's December, which means it's time for our 2022 budget update. What we'll do is we'll spend a few minutes today just comparing a little bit with 21 and what we're looking at for 2022. I cannot thank you all enough for not only serving here at Grace, but giving here to GBC as well. The way we handle the philosophical approach to budgeting here at Grace is we look at the comparisons to what is actually happening between 21 and what we're projecting in 22. And then we ask ourselves, all right, Lord, what would you want us to be a part of? What is the vision from everything from the facility to missions and outreach to what's going on here with staffing? And all of that is part of the process. I'm really thankful and grateful for the elder team and for Amy for helping us out and putting this presentation together. So let's go ahead and dive right in if we could this morning. Again, this is our budget presentation for 2022. Now, most of this fits around our mission and vision, and you can see that on your screen on why we exist, to exalt God and be faithfully teaching the Word of God as well. And the vision for that is doing life together. I mean, we are all about that, and endeavoring to build community along our journey is so fundamentally important. And then thirdly, we want to be as wise stewards as possible when we utilize our resources for God. We appreciate everyone who's willing to give here, and we just want to make sure that to the best of our ability, we're using the resources as stewards of God's grace. So let's reflect a little bit on 2021. Our giving remains currently above budget. Our budget for 2021 was around $8,400, and we're averaging right now around $8,600 per week. And so we're, of course, very, very grateful for that. In-person attendance has been outstanding. In fact, even better than 2021. And a lot of that has had to do with kids ministry growing exponentially. There are many Sundays where we have between 60 and 80 children on any given weekend. And of course, we're very blessed to be entrusted with the ministry care of teaching young people here in the ministry. And so again, very, very thankful for that. Online community continues to be really well. Some people watch live, and we're so grateful for Mason and Josh for being such key catalysts and helping us out to get that ministry working and then working well. But we have many people that will watch live online, and then others throughout the week that for whatever reason weren't able to attend, or we have folks that watch online who aren't a part of our church at all, that don't even live in the state, but they just enjoy being challenged from God's word and enjoy the music as well. So 2021 ministry climate really helps to clarify and set the stage for how we can move forward in 2022. So what does that look like? Some key vision takeaways for the 2022 budget. By the grace of God, I continue to serve here as lead pastor, and Barb and I cannot be more grateful to all of you for the privilege that we have had. This is our 30th year serving here at Grace, and we're just over the top grateful and thankful to all of you for this wonderful privilege of serving here at the church and being part of our great community. Amy Levine Collins will continue to serve as our admin and overall ministry coordinator. She is awesome. Most of you at GBC have gotten to know her and her family over the years. And again, I am so personally thankful for not only her willingness, her heart for God, and her heart for people, but her giftedness in so many different areas. And so thankful that she's willing to stay on indefinitely. Justin and Courtney Hayes, they're assuming the youth and young adult ministries through 2024. Again, grateful for them. And that becomes one of our key budget changes for this year. Adding Justin and Courtney is going to add about $24,000 to our overall budget, but completely worth it as they get prepared and ready for serving in chaplaincy ministry over the next couple of years. Philip Rice and his wife, Brenda, again, awesome additions here to GBC. They have transitioned more to small group ministry. Philip is handling some adjunct preaching with me on a lot of Sundays, and Brenda is dealing with a lot of the scheduling work with our homeschool families and moms. And again, so grateful for them. We continue to invest in our part-time staffing with Justin, oh my heavens, with Josh, there we go, and Mason, got a little tongue-tied there, and Genevieve serving in that capacity. And again, they're here on multiple days throughout the week, particularly Josh and Mason. They do all kinds of things here, tons of stuff behind the scenes. And again, we're so grateful for their presence here, for whether it's just stuff behind the scenes or our online presence at the church. And then we stay heavily vested in missions, local, regional, and global. And that becomes another significant adjustment to our budget this year. When you get your copies via email or hard copy pickup, you're going to see that the budget is about a $20,000 change from 2021. Adding Justin and Courtney to the mix, the increase in our payroll tax, and as well an increase in a lot of our mission works. And we've done that 5% across the board because of the overall inflationary increases that have occurred here in the United States. And as most of you would know, when the dollar changes in its overall value, when our missionaries do their, if you will, translation and exchange in foreign countries, it is then less because of the inflationary cost. So we felt that it was prudent to increase most of our missionary families across the board for 5%. And again, you'll see that reflective in your budget, but typically that would include the Freys in Brazil, the Hasafluks in Albania, the Maugers in India, the Brockmans in Jordan, the Rudolphs in South Africa. The Stevensons will actually be coming off of the field. Everything is great in their ministry in France, but their kids are older. They're going to be coming home in June. So our ministry support for them will stop as well in June. But we wanted more of that French connection and the reaching out, particularly of French-speaking people groups. And so with the privilege of having Jeff and Tonda Street visiting with us on a number of occasions throughout the years, we are proposing that we bring them on full-time, with them living in Quebec and ministering to one of the most needy areas in all of Canada and globally as well, with many mission works. We just felt it was prudent to bring them on effective January, and you'll see that reflected in your budget. Also, the Rice family, who was serving in Slovakia, but now they are Eastern European leads across the board. They have a much larger ministry capacity. The Blowers from Ratio Christi, there are college ministry representatives with a wonderful ministry of Ratio Christi, and they're heading up the campus ministry there in Lincoln, Nebraska. The Zagadars, which are serving in Great Britain. And you're thinking, well, why do we support people in Great Britain? I mean, they have the gospel. Well, what's interesting about the Zagadars is they have a background with Bengali speaking people groups. And one of the largest Bengali people groups in the world outside of India and Bangladesh is in the UK. And so since they have direct contact with folks there, it's been awesome. And they've been doing great ministry there for years. Now, the Campbells, as they're continuing language school in Switzerland, but getting ready to go into Western Africa, we've increased theirs by 5% as well. And then we're taking on a new global project. We're going to be taking on Ron Davis and his ministry in Gdansk in Poland as they minister specifically to Russian-speaking Ukrainians. What a very unique opportunity and ministry there. Ron is building the team. We've been able to come alongside Ron for years, and when he was serving in Slovakia and now transitioning over into Poland. So the three major areas of increase, and again, it's about a $20,000 increase from 21 to 22, is the addition of Justin and Courtney, the payroll tax increase, and the 5% increase across the board for some of the mission works that we just mentioned. Just a really awesome privilege that we have to be able to serve in this arena. And then finally, capital expenditures. Give you a little bit of an update. Many of you know that the flooring was done this year. It cost us about $48,000. But wait, no, it actually didn't. Somebody came forward and said, you know what? We see the need for the flooring to be done, and we're just going to go ahead and pay that. So we had a family, wrote a check for $48,000 and covered all of the flooring. The parking lot needed some work as well. And so we had phase one done just last week, where a lot of the hot the pouring work for the cracks was taken care of. And then we'll have it resurfaced in May of 22. And that's almost $20,000. And guess what? Somebody is covering that as well. They're just writing a check and they're covering the whole thing. We had a sanctuary media upgrade this year that was about $19,000. That included cameras and all kinds of work dealing with our videography. And we're very grateful for that. Classrooms, bathrooms, and hallways are getting a lighting upgrade. A lot of our old lights that are about 17 years old, the ballasts are completely falling apart, and we're upgrading to LED. That's about an $8,000 cost, and we're moving forward on that. We're about 50% finished that project. We also had high definition IP exterior video surveillance that was added over this past year. That's up and running, and that has been very beneficial. There's some crazy things that happen outside of this church, particularly at night sometimes, and the video catches all of that. We've had everything from 6 or 7 cats trying to protect the facility to people that just kind of come up here from time to time, and being so close to 66. It's been nice to be able to have that, whether we need it on Sundays or just regular during the week. We also had some erosion and excavation done, of course, for the high-speed internet. That was already taken care of. And then we had some gutter work done, and we had some leaks in the building that was taken care of and secured as well. So these are some of the capital expenditures, not necessarily a part of our operating yearly budget, but these are things that are needed, and we're grateful for either folks stepping up or from resources that we already have. Currently, our bank account is totally sufficient to handle these things. And we're really, really grateful again for your provision and help over the years. So recap it. Things are going well. Attendance is good. Giving has been outstanding. We are so grateful for that. We're really thankful for the opportunity to have Philip and Brenda, as well as Justin and Courtney, on board to come alongside of Amy and me. And as always, with Josh and Mason and Genevieve helping out. It has really been just a terrific addition to our church, and I know everybody has been able to receive some benefit from that. And again, the highlights for the budget increase for 22, it's about not quite 20,000, and it primarily deals with our payroll tax increase, Justin and Courtney being added, and then our 5% inflationary cost upgrade for the missionaries that I had mentioned earlier. Again, thank you so much for joining us for this update. Look, if you're a member of the church, look for an email with your copy of the budget. If you miss that, we'll have plenty of hard copies available at the information desk beginning this coming Sunday. Hope you all have a fantastic rest of your weekend, an outstanding Christmas season, and we look forward to what God is going to do in 2022. Thanks so much for joining us on our financial update for 2022.